Alright, good morning gamers and welcome back. I don't know what we're doing on today's episode, but we're back on Void Breaker. And I am exhausted from work and doing and filling out all kinds of, all kinds of forms. But we're here to continue the run. We're probably going to keep this video a little bit short. This is the same loop as from before. We never completed it. I don't often play this game on stream. What is going on here? I may have to report a bug. We're here to keep on continuing the loop. This will probably, if we're not going to do a full loop because the full loop would take like an hour and I want to kind of keep the video short. I think what's kind of sad right now in the gaming hemisphere that Battlefield 6, pretty much, I would say, died as a video game. There's various reasons of why that is, but I think the main reason is just, like, Battlefield 6 tried to do everything for everybody, instead of just kind of just realizing it's it's Battlefield, man. Like we don't need everything. Like Call of Duty went down the same fatal route of just trying to please every single person, right? Like if it's just not feasible, right? Like I said Battlefield 6, or I said Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure I said Call of Duty. Like Black Ops. Look at Black Ops, right? Right now, like they're introducing, like, they have their own like PvE extraction, their own battle royale, their own this, their own that, right? But like, no one's playing the game anymore. I mean, I don't see any real Call of Duty content from the, unless you're like a Call of Duty, how do I explain it? Unless you're like a Call of Duty YouTuber, pretty much, because the game is pretty much dead. And like, unless you're a Call of Duty YouTuber where, your livelihood kind of focuses on playing the game, there's not much to it, right? I mean, and then like going to Battlefield 6, like Level Cap has made a video about, the game, the franchise kind of died, right? Like it's lost almost like pretty much 90% of its player base at this point. It's like, what, last time I checked it was under 100k people playing on Steam, which like probably correlates to like, maybe 100,000, maybe like barely, maybe even definitely less than 200,000 people playing on console. So it's a dead game. I mean, it's sad to say, but ooh, what's this? Sprint speed increases relative to the viewing setting. Yo, don't I have the is it this one? No, it's this one, right? Okay, hear me out. We do this, right? So we're kind of like zooming, right? Because my is this what? Relative to field of view. So the higher the FOV, the faster you sprint. Max FOV means 100% sprint, right? Field of view is maxed out, right? So we're kind of zooming, right? Hear me out. Then we add on this, do more damage over the course of the hit, right? What should I hit? What should I get rid of for this? I don't know if we really need a repeater on it. Alright, let's do this. Okay, anyways. This may be kind of cracked out. Oh my god. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Battlefield 6 pretty much died. Arc Raiders is pretty much the biggest multiplayer game in existence. But I've kind of stepped away from multiplayer games. Wait. Maybe it's not as cracked as I thought. It's stacking. It's stacking for sure. But I've stepped away from multiplayer games. I mean, I've always been not the biggest multiplayer game fan. Like, how do I explain it? Like, I've always played games solo dolo, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with playing games solo dolo, right? Like, I think a lot of people have a lot more fun just playing games solo dolo nowadays. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, maybe hear me out. We do that. Would this be more cracked? I think I don't get as much of the chain reaction as I think. I don't know. Or would I get rid of it? The luck. We'll just do this again. So, like, I've played what, Destiny 2 by myself for a very long time. Like, the one thing I hated about Destiny 2 is the fact that I felt like I was forced to play with people, play with friends. I guess that sounds kind of weird, right? Like, I feel like I wish I could just play Destiny 2 all content by myself. I think that's the fault of, like, I don't know. I think I talked about a little bit how Forged, I think his name Forged Gaming, right? Talked about how MMOs are pretty much a dying breed, right? Like, I mean, I think Asmongold kind of like doesn't play really any MMOs anymore. Like, he played gacha games because, you know, gacha games are just the Guna game that sells, you know what I'm saying? They're just the gacha games that sell very well. But I don't know if I would consider gacha games as like a multiplayer game, right? Like, I mean, I think gacha games kind of have a multiplayer experience for the most part, right? But it's like, how important is it? Not really all that important. Like, I have a friend who plays a lot of gacha games. Like, I want to get into like Weathering Waves, right? I thought the Weathering Waves would be cool, but here I am not playing Weathering Waves. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to, like, say, right? I know that I'm supposed to finish my Stellar Blade. You know, what is it called? New Game Plus. And I haven't. Because, not because I suck, just because of the fact that, I've been kind of lazy to kind of finish it, to be honest. I'm like... He has a lot of health. I'm not gonna lie, he has a lot more health than I thought he would in this second loop. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think solo player games are becoming really big on the rise. I think that's why I think RTS games are gonna like make a big, huge comeback this year, just because, like, bro, I mean, if you tune into my streams, you'll see that I've kind of watched a few videos on some of the top RTS games coming out, and I'm kind of excited. But I think what people really want from like multiplayer video games, I guess you could say, is games you can just play with your friends and always have fun, right? Like, you can't, like, Battlefield is like one of those games that you just can't do that anymore, right? Like, it's like Call of Duty is the same thing, right? Like, you just can't play it and still have fun. Arc Raiders is kind of one of those games where you can still play with your friends and have a good bit of fun, you know? But sometimes it just doesn't feel that way, right? Like, because the thing about PvP extraction looter shooters or PvE PvP extraction looter shooters is that they always eventually just become a PvP like slaughterhouse. And I don't know, I don't feel like that's really what the gaming sphere wants. I think the gaming sphere wants like what Division provided, right? Like Division provided a way that you could get a lot of really good loot without having to go straight into the dark zone, right? Like you could complete all of the new content without having to go into the dark zone. Now, give or take, the dark zone has some of the best loot in the game, right? Obviously, that was kind of the the high risk, high reward aspect of it. But like, I don't know, Arc Raiders doesn't have a high risk, high reward system. Besides, I know they're gonna do some changes to like Stella Montis, where they're gonna make it that you have to come in with like, I don't know, like a certain level amount of gear worth. Because Stella Montis is supposed to be your kind of like, for right now, your end game, high risk, high reward. You deal with like the hardest arcs, you deal with the toughest players who have some of the best loot, right? You can go into the game, you can go into that map and exit out with some of the highest amount of cash. But what really happens right now is that you just kind of go in there, you get free loot, you get some really good things, and then you dip, right? And then you kind of just buy all the stuff you need, pretty much. If not, you just loot it off of dead people who are, obviously, who haven't been looted yet, which is quite a bit of people, right? So Stella Montis doesn't really feel that high risk, high reward aspect anymore, right? Like Division provided, I mean Tarkov also, right? I mean, even like, I think like a good game that was like really shown that people really want like just a PvE extraction looter shooter was Duck Off. I think Duck Off was a really good example of it. If Duck Off was mass like MMO, right, you could just play with other people and do all of these crazy raids and boss raids. I think Duck Off would have been even more popular than like Arc Raiders. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people at some point they get tired of just dealing with PvP, dealing with fighting, dealing with shooting, having to fight your way out of like fighting your way to extract and stuff like that. I think people kind of get tired of that in PvP, PvE shooters. But like Arc Raiders does something where it's a good, decent mix of having to deal with both the environment and PvP people. Let me see. Like, I don't want this video to be too long, so maybe I'll get through this zone and then end it on the skip, right? But yeah, that's like, I think a lot of people just want that. Like, I think like Horizon MMO is a good example of this, of a like MMO that was supposed to come out. I think it's still planned to come out, of just having, being able to play the game without having to deal with all the PvP. Like, I think that was the thing about Horizon MMO, is that it wasn't gonna be PvP based. It was gonna just be like all PvE, big raids, big loot, big cash, work together, yada 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 yada, right? That's kind of like how Destiny's supposed to be. But Destiny kind of like, how do I explain? Destiny forces you to play with friends, play with people, right? Like, if you don't have an LFG squad for raids, you're just never completing any raids in Destiny, right? Like, that's just the problem. But if you could have done the raids solo dolo in Destiny, I think Destiny would have just kept on being like blown up. And I think that brings in a good talk about like RPG games and stuff like that, is that you have to have content, really good content, right? That's easy to do Ooh, that's cracked. Easy to do without it feeling like you're forced to play with people. Like, I think people want to be able to do just crazy good content by themselves, right? Duck Off is a good example of that. You can just do crazy good content by yourself, but like obviously Duck Off doesn't have all that crazy updates and stuff like that. Like, I think Duck Off has gotten a few updates since, but you kind of get my gist, right? Like, people want that, right? Like, that's just the idea, is that people want to play a RPG kind of game that you can do by yourself, solo dolo, because not everyone has friends. You know, there's a lot of introverts and antisocial people who don't join Discords and Discord groups. They want to be able to also complete a lot of crazy good content. Oh my god, we finally got it. Holy cow. Greatest mod in the entire game. Don't even need it anymore. Anyways, they want to be able to complete crazy good content by themselves. They want to be able to complete crazy good content without PvP. They want to be able to, you know, have really good PvE, right? Like good bosses that seem intricate, that, you know, doesn't seem stale or just bullet sponges and stuff like that. It's a lot, right? And that explains a lot why RPG games kind of die out, and why PvP, PvE, extraction, looter shooters are kind of like your alternate to the RPG genre. But then, like I said, people don't want to have to be forced to do PvP to get crazy good loot. People don't want to be forced to do PvP just to get loot, right? Like there's a lot of this stuff. People, I think that's why I said Duck Off. If it was massive multiplayer online, it would have sold way better. It would have been way more massive, but it wasn't. So obviously, I don't think Duck Off creators are gonna watch this video. That's, you know, obviously like based in Void Breakers. But if anybody does watch this video, tell Duck Off creators, make an MMO or make an MMO version of it, right? And same thing, like this is why I think Horizon MMO was going to be crazy good, because it's Horizon, right? It already has really good AI, really good PvE, and then it was supposed to be like pretty much PvE only with MMO tied to it, right? Like people would have been so stoked to like take down, I don't know, like a giant elephant or something. I don't fucking know, right? I don't know. Now they got dinosaurs and shit, right? But you get my point, right? Like, I mean, well, they've always had dinosaurs, but you get my point. Like now they have like T-Rexes, and you know they've got other T-Rex form. But anyways, let me know what you think about like PvE, PvP extraction looter shooters. Should there be a PvE extraction looter shooter only that's MMO? Do you think that would be the better solution? I think people like to fight other people, so maybe you still would have to have like a PvP aspect to it, but definitely, like, you know, crazy good loot does not have to depend on PvP. It should also be thrown into the PvE section, in my opinion. But other than that, I think a lot of people have kind of stepped away from the multiplayer hemisphere for the most part. I think a lot of people are looking for like party games with the friends that they can have like 8 people, right? Like I think 8 people is a good like maximum of covering, you know, 4 to 6, right? 8 people. People are now looking for like doing more solo content. That's why I think single player games are gonna be really good. And I think a lot of people are kind of started to get into kind of like strategy games and tower defense games and stuff like that, because now a lot of that genre has become kind of roguelike-ish and RPG-ish, right? Like RPG tower defense or RPG RTS, right? Like is the genre has evolved a lot more than what it was, you know, I think originally like thought of. But let me know in the comments below what you think about all of that. Just extraction looter shooters, multiplayers, solo content, stuff stuff like that. But other than that, I'm clearly ending the video, and I'll see y'all in the next time. Love y'all, Dale, and catch me in the streams.